Hello, 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 and welcome to Tea with the Queens. I'm excited that we have an exciting guest that's joining us that's going to lead us from journey on a journey to joy. And she's a remarkable woman that I've had the pleasure to co-author with and to, go to the next level with as far as writing and participating in an awesome anthology. And I would like to just kind of bring her up and she can let us know about herself. But I could tell you that she is a executive pastor. So she'll be sharing with us um, a God, business, and professionalism, restoration. So she's going to be pouring into us all of those things. And she's also an author, five-time bestseller author. So I know that she has, much to share with us. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Miss Davetta Henderson up, Pastor Davetta Henderson up to share with us and to let us know a little bit about herself.
Hello.
Hello,
Good
Pastor Davetta Henderson, Miss Davetta Henderson. How are you
good
today?
afternoon. Good afternoon. I am so great and blessed to be here. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for just being here and just, participating with Tea with the Queens. And Tea with the Queens is a place where we talk about transformation and we talk about the empowerment after the transformation, and we talk about really acquiring those skills that we gain during the transformation. So Tea with the Queens is really about uplifting, it's about pouring into, and it's about sustaining those things that's been poured into us, because we could hear a message and be empowered, and next minute we're going right back to the same things that we used to do. So that is Tea with the Queens. But I would like to know if you would share with us a little more about Davetta Henderson.
Well, again, my name is Davetta Henderson. Again,
I
thank
am
you.
so
I'm
sorry.
a native.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I am a native of Washington, D.C. I currently live in the Maryland area. By trade, a leader in corporate human resources for over 30 years. I am an executive pastor of the Victory Nation Church under the leadership of Marlon Baker. I'm also as the CEO of Davetta Jewels, selling fashionable jewelry at reasonable prices. My gift and my passion is writing. I have, as you said, I have 5 best-selling anthologies under my belt, in addition to my own solo project. And as a supplement to that, I am a freelance editor, and I do it all every day, maneuvering through an incurable illness. So
Okay. So what is can you
I
tell us
am
a little bit about
steadily transforming in my life.
I'm sorry, maybe a little delay, but I just would like for you to kind of share about your private, personal writing project that you've done.
So my own project, I got the vision for my first book in 2007, and it wasn't completed until 2021. It's called The Seed, the Soil, the Sower, and it's a faith-based, it's fictional book. It is about it is about the parable in the Bible of the seed, the soil, the sower, and it talks about the lives of 4 women, each of them representing the type of soil that is on the ground. And there is a sower who is the mother of one of the women. She represents the sower, and they talks about the lives of these 4 women, each of them taking on the personality of one of the types of ground that you can live your life in. Good ground, or your seed can fall into by the wayside. It talks about their journey and how the different soils that your seed fall in affects your life. And so
It
it
definitely does.
it is the first of a 5 book series. I got a little off track, and so I'm hoping this year to continue the series to finish the other books that go along with that.
Great, great, great. So it's good to now use part of five, not your personal book, but five additional books that are five additional anthologies that you've been a part of.
Yes, I use those anthologies to share my life history. I find anthologies great to be able to tell your story. I started out with Stepping into Leadership Greatness with Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant. I've been in the anthology of We All Grieve Differently, where I told my story about my mother passing, and that was the visionaries were Ladrine Peterson and Latasha Briscoe. I have also been in an anthology under Dr. Cheryl Wood, Women Inspiring Nations, Bruised but Not Broken. An anthology with Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, Yes You, Yes Now, and the last would be I Am She
Oh, okay.
with Lindria Dockett, and they all were bestsellers.
Wow. Okay. So the grieving one, I know that that was probably you had to dig deep, probably dig deep for all of them. But the one on grief,
That one on grief, I tell you, it was an adventure. Each person, it was about women, and it was also a man who was in the anthology. So it was about people who had lost their mothers. And so at one point, I remember we were coming down to the last day where you had to turn in your manuscript. And, of course, we had a group for that anthology that we could all interact with. And I posted in the group, I can't do it, because I could not see what I was writing, because as I was writing the story, I was actually reliving it. And so I got so caught up in it, I just had to stop.
that's yeah. It is like you
And
when you
I just
pulling
said, I
that
can't do
out,
it. But then I realized I didn't want to get everyone else upset.
right? And how long has it been since you were in that anthology?
Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh. The thing about me is I call myself the late bloomer, baby boomer, because on my first anthology, I believe it was in 2021. And so since then, I think I've done an anthology, or one or two anthologies a year. So I want to say that anthology was probably 2021, 2022. So it hasn't been long,
Oh,
but my
okay.
mother she passed in 2008. So it
Oh,
was a long time. But once you start bringing up the memories, they
yeah.
come back to life.
Yes, because I was wrote in a book about the loss of my son, and it was in 2011. So when I was writing it, I was just saying it felt so intense, the emotions that came back. That's why I asked how long it has been, because it doesn't go away. You kind of just, I don't say forget, but you kind of compress it a little bit until you have to actually bring it and talk about it, write about it, or whatever you got to do, and it seemed like it's just right there. And so, but it's a blessing to be able to share the story, because you never know. We all go through some type of heartbreak. I believe that, but we want to know about the restoration and being restored even in the midst of a heartbreak. So it's a blessing to be able to share that story and be able to deliver it. It's not easy, but you was able to deliver that story in all the stories that you've done, but that one kind of stood out. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I love. That's the great thing about being in anthologies, that it gives you a chance to not only tell your story, but it also gives you an opportunity to share and help someone else who may be going through the same thing in life.
Yeah. And also, um, with the anthology that you're now participating in, that we're participating in, is The Beautiful Face of the Invisible Illness, Masking the Pain We Endure. Now, that one is that's on the flip side of, dealing with more of the grief and things like that. But now we're dealing with the illnesses that kind of stifle our lives, things that people just really don't see. The things that we deal with every single day that we can't hide and we can't compress. So can you tell us a little bit about that that project and what that project means to you.
Yes, that project is very special to me, very personal. My illness is systemic lupus erythematosus, better known as lupus. It is an autoimmune disease, and it weakens my autoimmune system, and it attacks my body. I have lived with it since about 2005, I think, and there is no cure for it. And so when the opportunity came up with Nadia Mansana, who's the visionary, to share my story, I was thrilled to do so because I've been living with it very successfully. And my chapter is called I Will Rise, I Will Live, I Will Thrive, specifically because every single day that I can, I do rise. And when I do rise, I intend to live a full life. And with that, since I'm living, I might as well try to thrive and be successful in it, because there are days when I literally cannot rise. So every day that I can is very important. So that I tell that story in the anthology. I look forward to it coming out.
Yes, I look forward to reading it because it's going to be it's an amazing project. It's been amazing. Nadia, she's amazing.
Absolutely.
She did her thing. So I would like to kind of talk
Yes,
about
indeed. Yes, indeed.
a little bit. Let's see. It's so much on your bio. So you talked about the testimonies of a single motherhood. That is yeah. That's that's a lot of us. That's a journey that a lot of people, a lot of women have taken. Uh,
Absolutely.
Motherhood, yes, a lot of women have taken. Have been on that journey. Can you share with us? What do you do as far as what do you do as far as the single mothers? How do you encourage the single mothers?
Well, I let me just say that my son is now 37, thriving, and is very happy, well balanced, and I owe that all to God. So I would encourage every single mother to not try to look completely to their own strength to
Mm,
do it, because it is a daunting task, especially if you don't have. There's one thing to be a single mother and have a father in the picture. There's another to be a single mother and where the father is not in the picture, or in the picture
yeah.
sparingly. And it is nothing to it is a serious situation, because we are literally raising children to become adults who are going to make decisions in this world, who have to thrive in this world that is not getting any easier to live in. And so I encourage every single mother or single father not to take that lightly in what you're doing. And so you, I had to find a village. I think because it's nothing that you can do by yourself. There's no book. As many people that are born, there's still no specific book that is written that can handle all of the nuances to you raising your child. Excuse me. And so I just had to put myself in the back burner. I had to think of my child before my own needs. I had to make decisions regarding education. I went back to school. I decided that I was a secretary. I realized that being a secretary wasn't enough to take care of me and my son in the manner in which I wanted both of us to live. And so I went back to school. I made sure that the things that I did in my personal life were things that my son could look at and say he's proud of his mother. I had to just take away me and focus on him. And then on top, still find time to explore who I am, grow in who I am, spiritually and in my personal life, social life, etc. So it was a balancing act. And you just had with him, with my son being at the top of that, but me not completely forgetting that I am an individual. And it is a balancing act. And I give kudos to the many people who are out here doing it every day. It is definitely an accomplishment when you come to the end. And you never stop being a parent. But at some point, you give up the mantle in terms of the teaching and raising them, and you let them go out on your own, which is why it was important for me to make sure that when he got to that point, he could do it with as little problem as necessary. And so when I write my bio, I always enter that aspect because I think it was a very important aspect in my life. It grew me up. Let's put it that way. It grew me up.
Because I was listening to a skit on social media probably last week. It really, the skit kind of put it in perspective of the how we've normalized being single parents. The lady was saying to her child, I'm going to send you over there to your father's, or I'm gonna have you go live with your dad. It was a skit though, but I'm like, why is that so normal? It's so normal for us not to have the two parent household. I mean, that's not normal, but it's something that's been normalized. So in the skit when she said that, I'm like, this is a young girl for one, and they making this joke, and then she's like, I'm gonna send you over there to go live with your daddy. I was like, that was just a kind of like an automatic thing. And when she said it, it sounded like it was like just the way of life. And then I thought about it, and I was like, man, we really normalized this whole, you know, parents living in two separate places, and you're not even really thinking about it. It's just the way it is. So that really got me to thinking about that. How I grew up, in a single parent home, and how I was a single parent at one point. I eventually got married, but I was a single parent, myself, and how it just became the norm. And I just that really kind of bothered me a little bit when I saw the skit, because I couldn't believe that this is something that just so normal. It's unfortunate, but we
It
have to
has
learn.
Right. It has become normalized, but regardless as to whether we're single parents or in a two-family home, the important part is to make sure that you realize you are raising up the future adults who are going to make the future decisions
Yes, that is so true.
in this world. And so it's important for us to, give that a priority. That's what's important at the bottom line.
You know what? That is true. That's the bottom line, because it's happening. So we can't, we want it to change, but the bottom line is to make sure that the children that we are raising have a solid foundation, and they have solid, they have knowledge to be able to go out here and conquer, the world, to be able to have productive lives. So that is so true. I'm looking at it in one way, but you brought it out in a way that happens, but what are we going to do about it? We can't sit around and cry about it. We're going to make sure that we do our job. The parents still can do their job and be productive, and it be, they have a solid, and fulfilled life. So we can't look at the fact that they're single parents, or they may have two, two parents in the home. The thing is that, are we pouring into our children what they need? So that was a good one. That's really a different way to
That's
look
right.
at it. So that gave me a different way, because so now I'm not so critical on what I saw. That's a good way. You still got a job to do, regardless of the fact.
That's right.
So thank you for sharing that. So what I want to do is kind of talk about if you can give us, pour a little bit out about the journey to joy. Put the little ticker here, because I want that to. That's what. Did I put that one in? There it is. The Journey to Joy. That's what I wanted to put up. Journey to Joy. If you could just kind of, let us know your thoughts about that and what does that mean to you, and how that could benefit us, at this time, in this world, in our lives. So much is going on. So many are heavy, and they really, joy can be superficially said, and it's more to joy than just a mere word. It's deeper than that. So if you can just, enlighten us on that, and I know that you said that's the journey that you're on, just enlighten us.
Well, yes, ma'am. I am on the journey to joy. My goal is to live my best life. I am 62 years young, and so I have lived and seen a lot in my life. There's been good times, there have been bad times, struggling times, prosperous times, but all I have learned how to go through this journey in a joyous state. Every morning that I wake up, I go through it. I start out saying, being thankful that I'm here, and I am determined that nothing is going to keep me from living my best life and being the best that I can be, no matter what I go through. And the basis for that, as saying this as an executive pastor, is my relationship with God. And from that, it starts internally. I cannot look to the outside to create joy. The joy that I have, as the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. So there's nothing that I've learned to make sure that nothing that happens to me or nothing that happens on the outside of my life is going to affect me having joy, not long-term joy. And we all have moments where, we get frustrated, we get sad or whatever, but they have to be temporary. And so that has been something that I've had to learn. And for the last 62 years, it's not easy, but the first thing is to understand that where the joy comes from. The joy comes from the higher power, right? The joy comes from my relationship with God, knowing who He is and who I am in Him. Without that, there is no joy from my perspective. And so from that, I can do all things through Him. I use His word to find the joy in everything that I do. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Weapons are going to come. This world has many, many afflictions and many, many obstacles that I've had to go through my life. I have many, many stories, many, many gifts and illnesses. And through that all, I still wake up and show joy. When I wake up, when I see you, I say good morning. When I walk past someone, I say hello. When I bump up against you, I say excuse me. Everything that I do, it has to reflect joy. And I have not always been that person. It's been something that I've had to learn and grow into. But I wish that I had learned it earlier, because it makes for a much happier, a much smoother, and much more fulfilling life. And so I share that with others in hopes that they can get it before they get my age. If I could share this with a 25-year-old and help teach a 25-year-old how to spend the rest of their life living joy from the inside and not trying to pull it from the outside in, taking it from the inside and sharing it to the outside, it makes your entire environment totally different. And so everything that I do, when I raised my son, I tried to show him joy. When I'm writing in it, being in anthologies, everything that I do, when I'm on the job, when I'm taking care of my home, all of the other things that I participate in, which is why my life I can't point just one single thing. When I sell jewelry, I do it with joy. I love to see women sparkle and see the joy on their face when they find just the right earrings for just the right occasion. All of that, sharing joy in every single thing that I do in my diverse life, and sharing that with others is my journey to joy.
So when you said joy, I thought about um, when you said coming from the inside, I thought about how joy is embedded in us, and
That's right.
it's there, and how certain circumstances can pull us away from that. And what I thought, and I went back to what you the book on grief, and how it was like, you can grieve but still have joy, and how you don't allow
Yes.
circumstances to pull you away from that joy. That joy is the gift, and it's that's the sustaining power. And it's good to be able to, like you say, find the joy in the things of life every day. Find that joy, right? Like you said, ride it in a car. I can ride in a car, and if the sun is shining on this particular day and the sun hit just right, then it just, I just have so much joy. And it could be simple things, just walking out and smelling the rain
Exactly.
and get ready to fall, be like, "Oh, this is about to be relaxing," and just have that joy from that. So it's joy
Exactly.
is it's the gift, and we recognize the joy, where the joy comes from. Like you say, God gives us the joy, and it's instilled in us, and no one can take it away, and nothing can separate us from that joy. So, like you said, circumstances will come, but when I got older, I understood that, because when things would happen, when I was younger, I just could not understand. I did not understand. I was like, well, how am I supposed to live a life, and trust God, and just, be wrapped up in Him? And I'm going through all of this. But that showed me that joy that He had it's sustainable, and like you said, I was pulling from the wrong places. I'm pulling from outside resources to give me the joy that's already inside of me. So, man,
That's right.
that's deep. I hope that we take heed to what you said on that, for real, because that would change the direction of your life. You would not have to live in uncertainty. You won't have to live in misery. You won't have to live in grief, regardless of what it is, whether you're grieving a relationship or a job, or just find the joy, because you never know what's on the other side of those things. That just keep moving, just keep going, find the joy. Then look at it as, hey, I'm starting over. There's joy in that. In spite of the heartaches, there is still joy. So that's that's amazing. That's amazing. That is what we're supposed to pour into each other. Giving each other that hope, letting each other know that not all is lost if you just realize what's on the inside. And that's so important. And those who have no they don't know they don't know God. They have no hope. And I feel they don't even realize the hope that they have. And like you say, being an executive pastor is so important, because you pour into people spiritually, and then they get to recognize that. So not believing and not having that hope, you know, you don't even recognize the joy. And that's when people's lives, they seem like they're just miserable. You got to be able to know where your joy comes from. And I'm a firm believer on that. So I'm a believer. So I'm going to stand on that every single time. The joy of the Lord is my strength.
Amen.
So I'm going to stand on that every time, and encourage someone, in the midst of that as well. Um, so I thank you for that. I wanted to say this before we go, because I realize is that you like you said, you have a lot of hats that you wear, and you said about the jury, because I know that you have your whole jury. I think it was a Davetta jury,
Develop
Davetta jury. So how
better
can
jewels. Yes.
okay, Davetta jewels. Okay, so can you tell us about that, and how we can
Yes.
participate and get some jury, be able to support you?
Well, my jewelry line, I am an independent consultant with the Great Paparazzi Accessories. We are changing lives $5 at a time. Our jewelry line cost is everything is $5. It's wonderful, beautiful costume jewelry, and everything is $5. We sell earrings, necklaces, we sell rings, bracelets. We also have a signature line that is a $25. That is our signature line, which is a $25 cost basis, and I love it. I love um, selling it. I have a website, an online website that you can go to DavettaJewels.com, and you can look at all of the merchandise that I have available. I absolutely love what I do. I love vending. I love uh, walking up to people. I just saw it. A friend was online and she was selling it. I love jewelry. I love jewelry. My mother loved jewelry. It's inherited. So when a friend was online, she said, "Come and see my jewelry." I said no, because I knew that I'd get caught up in it. And when I finally broke down and went on live one time, I did get caught up in it, and because it's absolutely beautiful. And why go to the department store and spend $35 when I can come up here and go into the paparazzi vault and get it for $5? So it was and we have new products every single 6 days a week now, and so I invite anyone to go onto the website if they can, if they're interested in being a consultant. I'm available to show you that. It's very easy, and you can just the thing I love about it is you don't have to sell it. You can just be a consultant and purchase it on your own, which is what I started to do. I didn't want to sell jewelry. I had no idea that I wanted to sell jewelry. And then when I got the opportunity, when I kept walking out the door, people were like, "Oh, that's beautiful. What are you wearing? Oh, that's so beautiful." And I said, "Okay, wait a minute. Let me start taking some of this with me." So I think this is something that I'll do for the rest of my life. My joke is that I get to put jewelry on to go to the mailbox, and I do every single day. So, but other than that, other than that, my I can be, if you want me to share the where I can be reached on social media. Um, I
Yeah.
can be reached at on Facebook and Instagram at Davetta J Henderson. I can be reached on LinkedIn at Davetta Henderson, and then you can you can go to my website DavettaHenderson.com, where you can look up the books. I have some merchandise, and get access to the jewelry website also.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all that information posted on all social medias, and I'm going to have it on all streams, and all the information about uh, paparazzi, about the merchandise and the books, everything. And I will say that some of the products that go along with the books are amazing, and you will want to get some of the things that's been put out there for us without concerning our books and concerning our chapter. I've been overly satisfied with the designs of the different merchandise that has been designed for us and everything. So we got to make sure that you go on the website and really look at those things, because the merchandise represents what we've delivered and what we stand for, and what and then also the hope that's given, like the journey to joy, that would always be reflected in the merchandise. So always go and check out the merchandise, along with the books. I love how you have that as well, so you kind of can wear the victory on you. That's the way I look at it.
That's
You say
that's
it's
good.
fearless. You say it's fearless.
That's good.
Would you say it was fearless?
I'm sorry.
No, you said
My
your
chapter?
yeah just yeah your
My chapter?
your merchandise.
Oh, my the chapter, you talking about the chapter of the book?
Yes.
Oh, my chapter is I will rise, I will live, and I will thrive. And
Okay.
we're in pre-ordering now for the beautiful face of the hidden illness book, and so you can go on to the DavettaHenderson.com and purchase a book and read my chapter
Yes.
regarding my illness and how I thrive through it every day.
So yeah, so that all that information will be available as well. And also, like I said, with the store for paparazzi, I have worn paparazzi and I love paparazzi and I have a whole lot of paparazzi. But my sister, who I was getting it from, she doesn't even do it anymore. So I know now where to go for paparazzi, and I don't know who their designers are,
Absolutely.
but their designers are awesome. I mean, especially if for me, it's nice. I wear jewelry and I don't wear jewelry, but it's nice to be able to have some jewelry for for a specific outfit. For the price, you can do that. So
Absolutely.
that is something that I want to get back off into. That's my little what says therapy for me to be able to get some jewelry just for a
Yes.
specific outfit. That would make me happy. So I would like to thank you so much for being patient, for just being part, accepting the invitation, being a blessing to us, and just really poured into us. I feel like it was poured into us not just naturally, but spiritually as well. And we got some eye openers and some revelations from this, and I learned some things, and especially learned the real meaning of being a parent, and really our purpose of being a parent doesn't necessarily negate to being a couple. And
That's
that is so true. And thank you for that. That really was an eye opener for me, and I pray that someone would take heed to that. Um, regardless of the fact we got a job to do, and they will be okay. They will be okay. We were okay. They're okay. They will be okay. So, wow,
absolutely.
that was deep to me, and that's what I like about having the different platforms that we can be on to talk, because you never know what someone is thinking, and just a conversation could change the whole direction of someone's thinking, and that's empowering to itself for me. um, so that I won't be so critical. And I'm like, I wasn't particularly critical, but I just was, I just felt like, man, it's just normal. But I totally got a different view of it now, that the responsibility of being a parent and when we pour into our children is the priority. Everything else, hey, it is what it is. That goes to that what you were saying before about joy. Obstacles come, things happen, but it will not take you and deter you away from the joy that's been instilled in you. So don't worry about it. Just be a blessing to your people, be a blessing to your children, just be a blessing to whom God has sent for you, to pour into. That should be our mission.
That's right.
So I,
That's
I,
right.
I hope that I hope that that made sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. I thank you so much for having me. I love these conversations. We learn from each other, we grow from each other, and we continue to inspire each other. So I thank you so much for having me on this at this tea time. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. And again, the Veta, which I apologize for getting it wrong first, the VettaHenderson.com is at the bottom. Like I said, all the information will be available. And please, please, please go and check out her story. And I'm telling you that when you're dealing with some things and you find the resilience to overcome, it will change your life. Sharing our stories changes lives. So please, take that time out and go and just read the story. Let it be a blessing to you. So thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for sharing with me today and taking a few minutes out for tea with the queens.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.